And talking about the language again, you you mentioned about the English and all the like. When you are not the first, you're not the first writer I have read who uses a special language. In fact, when I came across you, I remembered that I had read a book that guy was writing on cosmic consciousness as God consciousness. And he used a special kind of language. His vocabulary was special, his capitalization and everything. He created a language for himself. It was strange, but and it's strange to most people. But you know, I have a literal side of me, which is well, I did some literary studies, and I'm well versed with what you're talking about. In fact, you put within the ambit of freedom, the real freedom that you're espousing, that you want to make people realize for themselves. Your language is the language of freedom. Why? Because it doesn't it is not, it is non-conformist. It is it doesn't fit into the standard patterns of this world, or in creation, which is a temporary thing. And so we find in your writing that aspiration to be free from all the binds and bindings of society, all the conventions, the morals, the etiquette that people subscribe to, and which your language is a rebellion against. So it's just that many people of a literal nature have not come to realize or appreciate your writings in what we call literary criticism. Like, you will find it there exactly what I'm telling you. When they will understand the context of your message, then they'll come to everyone will come to understand that the language is a flight from conventionalism, from that orthodoxy and all the like. So that is what I have to say about it.
Well, we said a lot today, Charles. Yes, orthodox, all that is just another way to say old routines. That's all it is. And so we've been through these things so many lifetimes, and it's a struggle for people to understand. I get it. That's why I have a lot of consideration, and that's why I write so many things like I do, simply because there's many ways to say the same thing, and everybody will have their own way to do that or see things. And because of the world how it is, it's huge conflict. Everything's conflict, everything's contradiction, because people have been taught distortion. The whole world is distorted. Nothing here makes sense, except for the birds flying around and the animals in the sea and the fish and the dolphins, whatever. But for the most part, no, this is the business world and what we have and the technology. We don't need any of this, but we got it, so it creates conflict, and it's created because to keep people distorted, confused, and coming back and being supporters of a system that's worthless. Okay, so again, we're not here to bring down the system or any of this stuff, etc. We're sidestepping it. We're creating a real position with real awareness. This is the fun part. This is the adventure who will step up, and it's something unseen. And it's not faith or belief or whatever, or trust or any of these things. No, it's not. Those are ideas. It's real. You have to see it. It's so real This is the best part of it. And I know it takes a lot. And you got to be the risk taker. You got to take the leap, and you got to leap after leap after leap. And it's frustrating. Oh, yes, you're going to go through a lot of drama and a lot of frustration, and you're going to yell and scream, and you're going to get in conflicts and confrontations with others and yourself, etc. Oh, yeah, it's all part of it. Yeah, it's all part of it. You know, at one point, Paul shook his fist at the so-called heavens and said, "Why me?" You know, etc. He was going through his process too. We all do. Yeah. And so, yeah, I get it. I get it. This is why I keep doing it. It wears me out, but I don't stop. And there's a lot more. There is a bigger adventure coming that people can imagine, can't even imagine. But you got to see it. Got to be the risk taker to see it. So it's already being done. I decided it, and many other things that really far out, but. I can't say who will see it or not. And again, it can be right in front of the individual, like we are to the world, but they don't want to see it. They want to agree with their distortion. And they have the right to do that, 100%. Everybody can have whatever they want in life. This is how cool life is. It's an isness. It's like the air you breathe. You can have whatever you want. If that's what you want, you got it. So, going back to the beginning of this with the Africans, they came in, they decided their position, you know, and they came in to take on the challenge to creatively figure this out, or they don't. It becomes another lifetime where they don't. It's just that simple. But with all the knowledge and that's available and what's taking place here, they've got a bigger advantage than any lifetime, because most lifetimes are darkness. There's nothing there. There's no knowledge. There's nothing but struggle. Look at history. It's nothing but battles and struggle. And still, it's going on. And we've got technical distortion. We got 5G coming and all these other things, GMO food, HARP, just on and on. Okay, we've got all this stuff. We know everything is saturated. But you have the real knowledge. The real guides are here. You have that reference. You see, the guides have to be introduced. They are around, but people don't recognize them. And they're even afraid, because it's like, well, who's that guy standing in my room, etc. You know, so they have to be introduced. So this is what I've done. And Paul did too. We're introducing them. And from the old days where they were masters, etc. Well, you know, they told me that, no, we're not that. We just play that role. We're guides. We just provide guidance. And so I formulated this of a particular. But the best of all times is right now. And people have the knowledge. Again, if people are struggling, I suggest get together, you know, struggle together and have some laughs, you know, learn to laugh at yourself and struggle together. But get out of the begging mode and learn to be creative and step up and take the risk, take chances and learn to see things and go out there. I do this all the time. I've got so many things going on that I can't even talk about, but I always take the risk. I always step up. And I figured out, I like figuring it out. I like the tough stuff. Well, I've taken on an adventure like no other that is beyond everything. But it's coming, and certain people will see it. Well, you got to have the courage to step up too and be real with it. But again, most people, they like their rules and regulations. They like confronting the authorities and petitioning and, you know, wondering and begging. Well, again, they have the right to do that, but you don't have to do any of that. But you got to figure it out. So thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles, for stepping up and taking the time to do this. I see it as very important. You've done it a long time. A lot more to go, but thank you so much. Gives a little bit better understanding to people out there, and that we're not as scary as they think we are. Yes, we're really okay, and we, you know, we really do like people, and we are here for everybody. Yes, and let's make it fun. So thank you, Charles. We'll see you next time.